Friends, we spent over 7,500 script on this past Purveyor sale, and it was absolutely amazing to be able to do it with everyone while we were streaming here on YouTube. Y'all, we're going to be sitting here showing you what we got from the pools, and if we got anything great. If you like this sort of content, make sure to press that subscribe button and that like button. It helps out with the algorithm. Y'all sit back, enjoy the video, and let's get into it. Now, if you don't know who the Purveyor is, she used to be over in Berkeley Springs back in the day, but she got moved into her own building, the Rusty Pick, over in the Ash Heap, and this is where you get your legendary modules and your Vault Steel. But they have picks of her choice, and it's basically just a RNG slot machine on what you're going to get. Normally, the 3-star weapon cost 100 script, but during her sale, when everything other than the modules and the Vault Steel is 25% off, that 3-star weapon pick goes to 75 script, meaning that if it's not a good roll, you can turn it back in for 40 script and you only wind up losing 35 script. Now, this is very RNG heavy, like we talked about. And if you're muling legendary items off to build up a script exchange and you're not going to be really playing on those characters, why not go over there and try your hand? And we asked on our YouTube channel during the Purveyor sale, do you try for a good roll for 75 script or save for modules in Fallout 76? 84% of the folks that voted said that they would rather save for modules or steel, and 16% said risk it for the biscuit. And me personally, if I'm not going to be playing my mule characters, then why not, as long as they're level 50 and they have the weapons that I'd like them to potentially get in the loot pool. And like we talked about before, this is an absolute RNG slot machine because unlike going to your weapons bench, your armor bench, or your power armor station, you don't know what weapon you're going to get. You don't know anything about anything that you're going to get unless you already know it's just in your loot pool. That's the only bit of knowledge that you have, and that's a whole different kind of conversation. But basically, you have a default set of schematics, plans that your character knows, and then throughout your adventures in the wasteland, whether you pick them up at a train station, from a player vendor's camp, from anywhere out there in the wasteland, it gets dropped in a box, like the Overseer's box, the blue box over at White Springs Station, or the red box next to would you like a balloon? Because as you know, you would love a balloon. Also, some free plans, possibly legendaries. That's a whole nother video in itself of talking about the locations where any player really needs to look at. And then if you're trying to get rid of stuff to give away to people, a great place to actually put those items. But with knowledge, your loot pool grows, right? So you may not know how to make a railway rifle until you find the plan at a player vendor or at a train station or in a box. But if you don't know it, then you're not going to be able to pull it. So if you would like to do something like this and have the ability to pull it, you need to add that plan into your loot pool. Now, again, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what the prefix is going to be. You don't know what the second and third star is going to be. So it's an absolute gamble. But in my personal opinion, if you're not playing on the mules that you're exchanging these legendaries to and you're turning them in for script, then why not go risk it for the biscuit? Because at the end of the day, like we talked about, as long as they're level 50, the plans are in your loot pool that you want to be able to pull, then why heckin' not? Now that the daily script limit is 500 and the max is 6,000, your script is going to add up so fast through your time of playing Fallout 76 that, you could get more modules, but you also, when rolling for stuff, takes cores. And that means that you have to play a lot on your mules to get those cores, not only just to get the legendary modules. And now, if you're looking for legendaries and you don't know how to get so many of them, we're going to be doing a video on this over the next few videos, but I want to give you a little tidbit of how I do everything with legendary hunting. To me personally, daily ops, expeditions, and eviction notice are my 3 go-to areas if I'm wanting to hunt down and earn legendary items in the wasteland. Now, eviction notice by far is my favorite just because if you sit down at the bottom, there's 3 legendary super mutants that like to spawn in. But also, if you have the nuka launcher or if you have a grenade launcher of any sort, you can shoot up to the top and potentially hit some of those legendary enemies that spawn up there. So you can net around 25 to 30 legendary items from one eviction notice if you're there the entire time and it is a successful run. Now, daily ops normally nets anywhere from 1 to 3 legendaries, and in my experience with expeditions, about 10 to 15 minutes, especially Union dues. If you're in there with a bunch of folks that are just running and gunning, then you get around 4 legendaries. So, to me personally, getting legendaries in Fallout 76 isn't a hard thing to do. It is a very luck based thing, especially if you're a solo player. And if you're a solo player, feel free to join a team. You don't have to interact with us, you don't have to join us in anything, but make sure you're joining a team to get that shared experience when we're at events together. Or if potentially you join a daily op or an expedition with one of us and you run it with us, it's best to do it because then you get the added bonus of experience if you're in a daily op group or a expedition group. And make sure to join the casual group out there in the wasteland for the added bonus of intellect with a full partied group. But to me, this challenge was absolutely amazing and so heckin' worth it. Do it if you can, but y'all, thank you so much for watching the video. I'd love to thank our channel members of Frugan, Just Jake, Herb Cross, Blood Sebastian, Nova, Prophet, Dreamy Houdini, Bankai, Super Loki, Sweet Tea Scotty, Thomas, Zach, CRM, Jesse, Commander Falcon, Blaze Mataz, I Go, Randy, Bud, Cranberry Relish, Lilith, Humdog, Justin, Gravy, Baycat, That One, Nick is Gaming, and Dan X. Thank y'all so much for supporting us on this journey through the wasteland. Y'all have a great and wonderful day out there in the wasteland. Peace, y'all.